All right, so I'm here with a couple of my bikes. They're dirty because I rode yesterday and haven't washed them. Whatever, get off my back. I'm gonna do it anyways. This is my pretty much 20-year-old 250F that I have a really long history with that I'm gonna make a whole separate video about that. And brand new KTM 350. Yeah, I'm a vet dork that rides the KTM 350. Whatever, Yamaha should make one. I would buy that. But anyways, so I've had this idea about comparing lap times with this thing and modern bikes, and kind of an unfair comparison for me because I'm obviously riding a 350 and 250F, but my buddy Marshall came out with me and rode his modern 250F, so his comparison will be a little more accurate. Anyways, yeah, I think these bikes are pretty underrated for what they are. I think they get a lot of hate because they kind of killed two-strokes, and I love two-strokes too, so I kind of get that. But anyways, I think they're better than people give them credit for. So this little test was kind of interesting. Me and Marshall are just regular dudes, like vet B guys. So, you know, take our opinions for however you feel about that. But in the video, I'm going to just put some of our clips from our laps and then lap times. And then we had a little convo just talking about it. And then at the end of the video, I will put the whole lap times because I don't feel like that many people really want to watch that because it's long and drawn out. But if you do, I will put it there. So thanks for watching. What do y'all think about old four-strokes? Yay or nay? And not XRs and stuff because those are obviously sick. But these ones, four-stroke National Air bikes.
Rideable.
Yeah, I could ride that bike like all day, but I'm just scared it's gonna blow up on me.
It had a few burbles. I was a little nervous.
Yeah, it's just hard to be confident on it, and like when I start the day on it, it's different. But going from like a super crispy fuel injected bike to the like old carburation, it's the second I get that blub blub, I'm like, oh man, like then I like ride timid from there. But
yeah, because I did one of those. It's kind of the little middle section. It's that left-hander. It's like a single and the double, and the 90-degree left-hander. It's that tabletop and big triple. I can't remember exactly where, but somewhere in there I landed and really got on the gas, and it just kind of fell on his face and just bop, 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 and just like, oh.
Yeah, that's what I did on
God.
that one out of the corner. I like scrubbed that thing, over jumped it, and landed like ready to go, and it just bloop bloop, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because you told me about it for sure on this small little hip double or tabletop right here at the start of the straightaway. I was grabbing gear as soon as I could and just staying on the RPMs all the way through the air, trying to keep her spooled up and ready, because I figured if I didn't, it probably would burble in the low art.
On a big triple, I'm hitting the little table in front of it in third and clicking fourth in the air, and then and I would have to. There was times where it just wouldn't rev out, and on the face of that, I'm like feathering the clutch like up it to just like, and it's like it's crazy because on the 350, I'm just like hauling into it and then soaking it up with no throttle, and it's just like the power differences.
That's how I'm on the Honda. Of course, the track was a little better on the Honda. It was definitely getting dry and slick on the Yamaha, so
yeah,
you know, it was a little bit different, but definitely the Honda, I was checking up for quite a few of the smaller little jumps out here. Whereas the Yamaha, I could kind of keep charging to it a little bit, and there's almost no difference as far as where I was landing.
You have a better comparison because you're actually on a 250F, so my comparison isn't very scientific or accurate because I'm riding different size bikes. But
and I'm still getting used to my Honda a little bit. Like I was telling you earlier, it's kind of hard to whip. It feels real heavy and kind of just sluggish in the air. The Yamaha is just super tight. I can just kind of get in there and just kind of flick it around. Like I know you saw me doing this little brake scrub here.
Yeah, you actually kind of looked more comfortable on the jumps on the Yamaha.
Oh, it definitely was.
Like, because you were throwing it around a lot.
Yeah. So I kind of want to get back on my Honda here a little bit and see if that translates back to my Honda again. Maybe and just get used to the 4-stroke feel finally. Yeah. But yeah, definitely the Yamaha, because like the Honda right here, it's just like, I just can't get it to rotate. It just feels like I'm just leaning the bike over, which is still working, but the Yamaha, I could really just go ahead and maneuver it and get it turned, bring it back, you know, it just felt good.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like, yeah, it feels like a dinosaur kind of when you ride it back to back, but at the same time, when you think about an 18-year age difference, or 19 for my bike, it's pretty impressive, like how good it actually and like rideable it actually is.
Yeah, Yamaha was so ahead of the time, I think, in that era. Their bikes were so good for so long. I mean,
and I actually think like so many like new people that are getting into riding, and especially if you're like on a budget, and I'm like, what? There's not a better like starter bike than like one of those or a Honda, mid 2000s, early 2000s Honda, because they're so smooth and rideable and like cush. It's just I feel like if you were just like buying a budget bike, you could get one of those, rebuild the carb, and just have
ride it. Yeah,
and
it's super good, and like that steel frame, super flexy. It handles amazing.
Yeah,
and like
to be totally honest, the Hondas back then were even like kind of in my opinion, a lot better than the Yamaha.
Really?
Handling wise. The Yamaha probably had power on it, actually, because those Hondas are really slow. But man, they cornered, dude. That's like the best cornering bike, those old Hondas. But
I don't think I've ridden that generation yet. But
how about those old brakes though?
Dude, the brakes the rear brake's good.
The front brake is like it just really needs a bleed, but it's the first lap I was like coming into the corners with no brakes because I just kept missing. Like I was like pulling and just hitting my knob. I'm like, whoa.
I almost crashed in front of you. I don't know if you noticed or not. I clipped the landing just a little bit, came in kind of hot. The front brake just didn't stop me. The rear brake was just locked up. I just slid into the corner. It barely held me. Like, oh.
Yeah, going from those Brimbos to those 20-year-old whatever's on there, Nissan or Galfer or something. It's a big difference.
Well, and I'm pretty sure I've got the modern Nissans on my Honda, and they're
probably really good, right?
That front brake's almost too much, and it's the stock size rotor. It's not even an oversized rotor. It feels like an oversized rotor. It's way too punchy. Yeah. It's like almost scary punchy, but I love punchy brakes, so that's a lot the same for me. But yeah, the Yamaha is a little. Of course, the lever for me, I think I ride with my hands kind of funky or something. Yeah. Because I was using the front brake on the rubber boot.
Oh wow! I haven't even really paid attention to where they are. Yeah. I will say it took me. Because I ride so many different bikes all the time that I kind of just like whatever I hop on in the morning feels good. But going from that to like from bike to bike, back to back, I noticed the shifter's in a weird spot on the Yamaha. It's like it's too low, I think, or something, and
it's short.
Some of the something about it. I was like, oh, the shifter's weird. Yeah, and the ergos just felt a little different on that thing.
The ergos feel good though. It's just like for me, being a little more long arm, long legs, I can just sit on it, still super compact, and move around the bike, and the cockpit just feels nice and open. Like I can almost sit in no wrong position on it. Because some bikes are real particular. You get too far forward, it doesn't turn good. You get too far back, it feels funky. Yamaha, I just feel comfortable just being all over the bike. It's like riding a 125. Yeah, it's funny too when you sit on it. Like you're saying, the cockpit feels so good and comfortable. And like to me, that generation of Yamahas, whether it be 2-stroke or 4-stroke, always just feel natural because they kind of feel so similar. And they feel so good, but on that bike, it's funny because it feels that way, but then when you watch footage, because those big, massive side plates and the big, giant exhaust sticking out, it like you look at it and like that thing must feel like a tank, but it really doesn't. Every night I got my foot kind of out there, and I was trying to bring it back, and I was like, man, the bike just goes and goes and goes back there. I could tell my foot was way back there, that the exhaust number plate was like, it's weird having that big number plate right there, because now bikes are so sleek, like you don't have that big bump, but now it's like there's a literal, like you can really feel it. But Yeah, because the Honda's it's so sleek right there. And even, I'm sure the KTMs feel that way too. So you don't really notice when you're getting further back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a definite like leg lock-in lump.
Exactly. Man, I would love to somehow have a brand new one of those and put good suspension on it, or just valve it and spring it to my actual weight and just really ride the piss out of it. Because when I ride it, man, I ride it like 80%, because for it to go fast, to really rip it, you need to be like super high RPMs, and I'm just not confident in that old engine that's never been rebuilt, just like off the face of a jump. Like that's why kind of when I decided like, okay, I need to buy a new bike, was when we were at Master Pools that day, and I was having to seat bounce those big tables out of the turn, and I was like and I was just like, man, I feel like I'm gonna get myself in trouble doing this if this is the only bike I have. So that's why I was like, all right, stop doing it. Just for safety, I need to buy like a modern bike.
You definitely had a few moments where I was thinking about the longevity of the motor. Like, I'm kind of pushing it hard right here. Let's back her down a little bit or change gear or something.
I know. Everyone says they're like so durable. It's also 100 degrees. That thing runs so hot. You can feel it. You can feel it on your legs. Like that thing.
Almost thought